What is up, designers? This is Nikos from Ninja Graphics and welcome to my Photoshop tutorial. In this video we're going to learn how to make mood boards, and they're really good practice if you're about to present something to your client. So for instance, a client has ordered you to make logo and you had a little talk with your client and you kind of know where you want to go, but you want to make sure that you guys are on the same page. So what you do is you make a mood board of say several logos that you like the direction or the style of, and the color scheme, as you can see here, and the fonts that you're gonna use, and then just put them together in a nice neat way and then show this to your client. And that makes things way easier because then you guys are on the same page. You know where you're going, and it can work for any kind of presentation. It doesn't have to be just for the logo. It can be for a product design, for furniture design, whatever it is that you're doing. So I'm going to teach you how to make this. So let's jump into another file. So I created another file similar to this one. The sizing of this is 1080 by 720. And the first thing I do is, if we go back here, if you notice there is a frame, a white frame that follows along, and it's like the same size, right? It stays the same size. The way I do that is I create a separate layer right here. So let's make a new one. So I create a new layer and call it measure, and then I make I go into the corner and then I make a small square with my rectangular marquee tool. So I make a square selection, and then I color this with black color or any color, doesn't matter. So now we have a square and a reference of size, right? So I can now, what I can do is I can bring out my rulers. If you don't see this, go to, where was it, window. No, you can actually just press Control and R and it will show or hide your rulers, but I think there should be rulers in view, right? You go to view and then rulers. So shortcut is Control or Command R. So once you have the rulers out, you simply click and drag from there, and you will get the ruler that you can put like that. And then you can do the same from the other side. And what you do is then you just put this measuring tool here. Do the same thing on this side, and now you have a white frame basically that you can reference as, and you're gonna know that you're not supposed to go over this line, and it will keep things nice and clean. So next, you wanna go onto Google and find some photographs that you think are going to be inspiring or relative to what you're doing. So let's do that, and we can just go. I just typed in some, it doesn't really matter. I'm just doing this for as an example. So I'm just gonna drag some photographs in the file, several of them. Let's put this one. So another thing to notice is that when you are copying directly from the browser and then pasting it, your photos are simply rasterized. What that means is that if you want to make them smaller and then something happens and you want to resize them and you make them larger again, it's gonna look terrible. So instead, what we want to do is we want to convert once you have all of the images inside, you want to convert them to smart objects. So right click the layer and convert them to smart objects. And what's that going to do? Converting to smart object, aside from many other functions that it has, it actually preserves the original size of the image. So it doesn't matter if we make it super small, and then if we enlarge it back to its original size, it's going to retain the quality. So that's what's cool about it. So we're going to do that for every single layer that we bring in. And now right now we have 3 images, so maybe we have some space. Did I put that in already? No, I don't think so. So let's bring in another one like that one, convert it to smart object, and we have some images to play with. So now all it is to basically to continue, we just have to make a nice composition, right? So we first make images smaller, or so that we can see where everything is. Something like that, right? And it's good to have variation. So let's do that. So once you're relatively happy with what you got, then you can start positioning them in a way that you think is cool. So I'm gonna leave this here because I like how it is. I'm gonna leave this here as well. And for this one, maybe I will make this a little bit smaller. And let's see. Yeah, this is a process, so like you might want to like think about where you're gonna put everything. I'm just gonna do it really quickly just for the sake of tutorial. So it's not gonna be perfect, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this. So I just did that, and once I do, then I'm just gonna use the measuring tool again, so that we keep the same distance, like that. Okay, and now let's see. We can use the measuring tool again to make sure that this layer is also according to our measuring tool, right? So it sits in the frame as well. Now, since we have two photos that look exactly like each other, we can actually change things around by changing one of the colors. So I'm gonna click one of the layers, let's say this one, and then Control U or Command U to bring up the hue saturation adjustment. So I'm just gonna change the hue, and we're gonna get different values here. Okay. Now what we want to do is showcase something else. So we want to showcase fonts as well as, you know, patterns or color scheme, right? So we can all do that in this layer, in this file. So the way we do that is we can basically create a square. So create a new layer, call it font. Okay, and then we can create something like that, and then fill it up with any color, right? So we're just gonna sample color from here, and now I'm just gonna type it in this font. Make it smaller, change the color so that it's visible. And then copy this one and make it, you know, different style. Copy it again. And you get the point. Copy it again. I'm using Alt and drag to copy the layer. Okay. So we have these fonts. Now we can simply place them nice and let's see, center them on this canvas, something like that, so that the client knows what kind of fonts that we're referencing or using, right? So we can also yeah, I'm gonna use the measuring tool to make sure that all my images have a similar distance between them. Okay, here as well, like that. And now we have this space, clear space, that we can use to showcase the color scheme, right? So we have a lot of colors here, all are in green domain, so we know that, but we want to showcase different variations of green. Okay, so we can create a new layer. Actually, we don't have to. Yeah, no, we do have to. We have to create color scheme, and I'm gonna use my rectangular marquee tool again, and gonna showcase. Gonna do this, and then fill it up with one of the colors that I select. Now, gonna use the measuring tool again. Put this here, like so, and then do the same on the other side, like that. And now we can have these rectangles acting as our color schemes or color palette. So we can have this like that, and maybe one more. That almost looks perfect. So once we have these, we can simply change the colors on the layer. So the way I'm going to do that is double click it, color overlay, click the color, and then select another color like that. Okay, and then go to the next one. Do the same exact process for this one, except select a different color. It's too dark. We need dark, but not that black. Okay, maybe this is okay. We're gonna press OK again, and we have 2 more layers to go. So let's select the color from this green. Maybe something like that. Okay, and then the last one, we can select something more brighter and more positive. Something like that. Yeah. Okay, and there we go. So now, to finish this up, you can liven up the image. So what I like to do is I like to add some color corrections to it. So if you go down here, you can say add some vibrance to it, pull up the vibrance, and obviously it's going to change the colors of the original color scheme as well. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. But it's going to make the images really lively. So boost up the vibrance to up to 45 or so, and then saturation not too much, because it tends to be, if you do it too much, it kind of screws up the image. So add like 5 plus 5, that's fine. Then I also like to do exposure, so add a little bit more light to it. And then gamma correction, that kind of brings up the contrast. And what we could do again is like color lookup, and what this does is pretty much just adds a filter on top. So you can just click once and then scroll through it with either with your mouse wheel or your arrows, like up and down arrows, and you can just find whatever you like and stick with that one. I think this looks okay. I'm not gonna waste too much time on choosing the perfect one, but you get the point. So this is pretty much it. Now let's go back to the original one. As you can see, we pretty much did the same thing here and here, and yeah, that's how you make a mood board in one of the ways to make a mood board. There's plenty of other ways to make it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you find it helpful and you learned something, and I'll see you guys in the next one.